I suggest you study this.
The views and opinions expressed on the Faygoluvers Podcast do not necessarily reflect those of us here at Faygoluvers.net. Some episodes may contain disturbing content. Discretion is advised.
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that? Well, say it's a bomb, then say whatever you want. Say whatever you like, just get it off the air. Please, No, I can't prove it. You've got to believe me. Believe me. Take it off the air now, please. You've got to. It means...
Please excuse the interruption. We're having technical problems. Please stand by.
It's time.
We are experiencing technical difficulties. Please stand by.
Dark masks, gather round your TV set. Put on your masks and watch. All witches, all skeletons, all jack-o'-lanterns.
The third commercial, it's still on, please. Take off the third channel, it's still running. Stop it, please, for God's sake, please stop it. There's no more time. You've got to, please, stop it now, turn it off. Stop it, 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 stop it!
Lovers. Lovers. Lovers.
What's up, ninjas, and welcome to the Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. I'm your homie Roscoe. I'll be your host for this Halloween-inspired episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. It is October 30th at exactly 12:07 a.m. Normally don't do these episodes at this time. I normally do them like the morning that they come out. However, tomorrow I'm not unable to do that, so I figured why not do it tonight. Plus, it's a Halloween episode, so why the fuck not, right? Just want to bring up the sound clip at the beginning of the episode. It's this clip from Halloween 3. I thought it would be a dope way to start out the episode. It wasn't until after I had set things up that I realized that Buckshot actually uses that exact same sound clip on his album Night of the Hunter, like the Halloween-inspired album. So I didn't steal it from him, I swear to God. I just thought it would be a dope way to start the episode. The segment on this Halloween episode definitely does not disappoint. We have Intrinzik reading Edgar Allen Poe's The Raven. Got hooked up with this by our homie Polmar. I guess he's the one who actually put this together a few years back, or a couple years back, whatever. And it never got released. It was something that Intrinzik would just share with his friends and whatnot. Well, once I heard it, I hit him up and I asked him, hey homie, can we use this on the Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast? And he said yes. So there you go, homie. It's gonna be a dope segment. And I myself, I'm a huge Edgar Allan Poe fan, I'm not gonna lie. I've read all of his shit, so there you go. Tonight's guest on the episode, we have Kegan, the Creep Ass of comedy. That's right. You want to talk about genuinely nice motherfuckers? Point a finger at Kegan the Creep Ass, because holy shit. Not only that, he's one funny motherfucker too. In the interview, we go over comedy, working with Native World Inc., his new show on Psychopathic Radio, The Sex Files, which you can find the link to that down in the show notes. And we also talk about some Halloween-related shit, because this is the Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. Was gonna watch a movie tonight, but I'll probably be doing this podcast for the rest of the night. Just one thing I want to bring up, and a movie that I'm gonna begin watching every single Halloween is the Evil Dead remake. I'm a huge, huge fan of the Evil Dead movies to begin with, let alone the new show, Ash vs. Evil Dead. That's my shit too. But the Evil Dead remake, when it came out, I was I thought it would be good, but I wasn't expecting it to be that fucking good, man. And I love it, and I'm probably gonna make it it's gonna be something that I watch every Halloween, so. And we just watched that movie Lights Out, and, Don't Breathe, and, they weren't bad, so go check them out too, I guess, if you're into that shit like that. One more thing before we get into the news, homies, is that the podcast actually got mentioned by Scotty D on the Juggalo show, and it was fucking dope. Thank you so much, Scotty D. Check out the sound clip right now.
All right, and finally, a few weeks ago, our webmaster Roscoe started a new endeavor for Faygoluvers.
We now have a Faygoluvers Podcast hosted by Roscoe, and it's available on Spreaker, iTunes, and Stitcher.
No shit.
A new interview is featured on each episode, and in the most recent one, Roscoe spoke for over half an hour to Vinny the ICP Kid. He's most notably known for his appearance on the Shockumentary, of course.
And for owning a Down for the Underground t-shirt.
Right. He's got the Jump Steady's t-shirt.
I'm just saying.
On this episode, he's extremely insightful and obviously Juggalo to the core. You don't want to miss it, and you can check out previous episodes in this one by going to Faygoluvers and searching keyword podcast.
Man,
and
I
that's
love
all I got for the underground news.
Hells yeah, brother. So thank you so much for the shout out. It's dope being promoted on there, and hells yeah, Sugar Slam, if you're a fan of podcasts, definitely check this one out. Alright homies, let's just get into the news. Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast.
Dark shadows moving in the woods, and I have no doubt that whatever I have resurrected through this book is sure to come calling for me.
Yo, she-bitch.
Groovy. Legend has it that it was written by the Dark One, Necronomicon Ex Mortis. Roughly translated, Book of the Dead.
Surrounded by evil with the zombies, you see me bombing on. I'm resurrecting the dead with the Necronomicon. Trapped in the woods, reading the Book of the Dead. They turned my bitch into a killer, so I took out a head. I had my dead homie tied to a chair. I pistol whipped him in the head and had his blood re-dyeing his hair. And now the evil dead spread to my hand, so I cut it off and put on a chainsaw at the end. Now I'm locked in the room and found myself the only mortal, so I kicked in the door and opened up a new portal. I fell from the sky and found myself in some new shit with a 12-gauge double-barrel sawed-off boomstick, inhaling the stench of the dead bodies and carcass. They call me Ash and I'm fighting the army of darkness. I took the chainsaw and put it to the heathen's head. That's how it is when you're fucking with the evil's dead.
This is my boomstick.
I fear that the only way to stop those possessed by the spirit of the book is through the act of bodily dismemberment.
I don't care what happens to her. She's your girlfriend, you take care.
The blackest eyes. The devil's eyes.
It is now officially official, ninjas. And you've all been speculating on it for the past year, 2 years. Whenever it was that Jay said that shit at the gathering. I can't remember if that was last year or the year before. Doesn't matter, because it has finally been announced that our homie Boondox has been signed to Magic Ninja Entertainment. Hells yeah. And he's going to be in the studio, and he's going to be hooking up an album. Fucking dope. This announcement was actually made at Rock and Shock with Twisted and the rest of the Magic Ninja family. Our homie Punk Rock Juggalo was actually at Rock and Shock, and he's the one who hit us up to let us know. Some other important news items that were brought up at Rock and Shock include that there will be one other solo artist and one group who have been signed, and they will be announced at a later date. Twist is working on getting some action figures released, and they will not be Funko Pops, unfortunately. There's going to be a Magic Ninja Entertainment convention put on next year, which will be dope. There's going to be a Magic Ninja Entertainment compilation album released, and I'm hoping it's like the, Psychopathics from Outer Space style album. That shit's going to be dope. Really looking forward to that, too. Next year is Twisted's 20th anniversary as Twisted, and they have some big surprises in store. The Triple Threat album is being worked on, which is, we reported about that on the last episode. Blahzay and the ROC are actually working on a new Zodiac imprint album. Not sure if that's a full length or another EP. I'm thinking it's probably going to be a full length. And there's 3 more albums set to drop before June 2017. Holy shit, man. 2017 may be the year of the ninja. We're going to have to see, man. Fucking dope shit going on over at Magic Ninja Entertainment. Next. So this is going to be the first time ever that we've ever announced any sort of news about Blahzay Roze on the Faygoluvers Podcast. I guess nothing has really been newsworthy, or nothing has really been worth mentioning or bringing up on the podcast since she's been around. But here we go. We got some now, finally, so check it out. It all started with a picture of the set list that we got from the Riddlebox tour in Mesa, Arizona, where we kind of noticed that Blahzay Roze wasn't on the set list. It then got reported that a couple shows later, she wasn't at the show either. And there was no real announcement made as to was she kicked off the tour or what was going on. And then ICP kind of put out a tweet saying, that her brother was sick, and we kind of figured that's probably why she's not on the tour. But of course, Juggalos began speculating immediately. Well, then she came back and she actually announced the name of her new album, which will be called My Life. She announced it on Twitter. And she also announced that she doesn't really live on the internet, so everybody's speculating on shit happening. She wasn't even really there to defend herself. And it's now been announced that she will also be performing at this year's Hallowicked, along with Waka Flocka Flame, Kissing Candace, and of course ICP. So that shit should be dope as well. Props, Blahzay Roze, props. Even if you don't consider yourself a juggalo, but you do consider yourself a fan of the underground, this news should probably get you excited. Our homie Killa C, who hasn't really been doing much in the underground music-wise lately, is actually back. And we did announce this earlier on, that he was working on a new album. But it is now announced that he has a 13-track LP titled Coul Hill, set to drop on November 15th. Pre-orders are already available on iTunes and Amazon.com, so hit up one of those to pre-order that shit today. More information available on that in the show notes below. Check that shit out.
I keep it underground, 'cause I'm down to put in work, man.
I'm not gonna lie, ninjas. I might have chose this news story to report on because there was nothing really happening with ICP, and I needed an excuse to put an ICP song in the news segment. Sorry about that. It's still kind of a dope news story anyway, so check it out. The Phoenix New York Times tell us why ICP is better than you think. It's actually a really dope article that they wrote. You can check that out. Links in the show notes. One of the main things that they really wanted to get across was that that Juggalos really love one another. They did make a few blows at the Miracles track, but that's kind of to be expected by now, if you know what I'm saying. The author's name was Andy O'Connor, and overall it was a very positive article. Like I said, hit up that link and check out the article. Give it a read because it's definitely worth it, ninjas.
I've just perfected an electronic hair bat analyzer which may hold the key to this baffling...
Our homies Twisted told us that they had an announcement to make, and they have made that announcement. And that announcement is that this year's New Year's Evil 9 will be a Freak Tasteless themed show. Hells yeah, ninjas. And for you ninjas that don't know, a Freak Tasteless themed show is a show consisting of Twisted doing their favorite tracks from both the Most Tasteless and the Freak Show album. Like I said, shit's going to be dope. That is going down on Saturday, December 31st. Good to see that it's on the 31st, considering it's a New Year's Eve show in Columbus, Ohio, at the Alarosa Villa. Hells yeah, homie. And not only Twista will be performing, there's going to be performances by Blaze, Gmo Ski, Lex the Hexmaster, Young Wicked, and Insane E. Hells yeah. Hit up the link in the show notes for a link to purchase tickets to that shit. It's been quite a while since we've heard any news about DJ Clay aside from, some touring and shit like that, but he's actually going to be releasing a new mixtape called TheSideWayZ for free, and that shit will be dropping sometime in November. There's no official date. The album artwork has been revealed, and it's one of those trippy eye illusion things that fucks with your head when you look at it, where it looks like the thing in the middle staying still while the rest of the object outside of it's moving. You know what I mean? You ever seen those things on Facebook? Either way, it was also announced that he's going to be heading out on the TheSideWayZ tour in January and February, and that shit's being booked right now. So, shit is dope. DJ Clay, props homie, and I'll be checking out that new mixtape. And for our final news story of the night, ninjas, Maxim has profiled the one and only Crazy Mary Dobson. That's right, former JCW superstar, now signed to the WWE. Shit is going to blow up for her, and we actually reported on this on the first episode of the podcast. And just like on the first episode, I just want to say that we're extremely proud of this shit. Hit up the link in the show notes and check out that article. Fuck yeah. Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast, everybody. So we're actually going to get into that segment of Intrinzik reading Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven, which is going to be fucking dope. After that, we got some commercials, and then after that, we are going to be getting into our interview with Kegan, the creep ass of comedy. Stick around.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, as I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, "tapping at my chamber door? Only this and nothing more." Ah, I distinctly remember, it was in the bleak December, and each separate dying ember wrought its ghost upon the floor. Eagerly I wished the morrow, vainly I had sought to borrow from my book surcease of sorrow, sorrow for the lost Lenore, for the rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, nameless here forevermore. And the silken, sad, uncertain rustling of each purple curtain thrilled me, filled me with fantastic terrors never felt before, so that now, to the still beating of my heart, I stood repeating, "'Tis some visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door, some late visitor entreating entrance at my chamber door. That is it, and nothing more." Presently my soul grew stronger, hesitating then no longer. "Sir," said I, "or Madame, truly your forgiveness I implore, but the fact is I was napping, and so gently you came rapping, and so faintly you came tapping at my chamber door, that I scarce was sure I heard you. Here I opened wide the door. Darkness there, and nothing more. Deep into that darkness peering, long I stood there wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. But the silence was unbroken, and the darkness gave no token, and the only word there spoken was the whispered word, "Lenore." And I whispered, and echo murmured back the word, "Lenore." Merely this, and nothing more. Back into the chamber turning, all my soul within me burning. Soon again I heard a tapping somewhat louder than before. "Surely," said I, "surely that is something at my window lattice. Let me see then, what thereart is, and this mystery explore. Let my heart be still a moment, and this mystery explore. 'Tis the wind, and nothing more." Open here I flung the shutter, when, with many a flirt and flutter, in there stepped a stately raven of the saintly days of yore. Not the least obeisance made he, not a minute stopped or stayed he, but with the mane of lord or lady, perched above my chamber door, perched upon a bust of Pallas, just above my chamber door, perched and sat, and nothing more. Then this ebony bird beguiling my sad fancy into smiling, by the grave and stern decorum of the countenance it wore. "Though thy crest be shorn and shaven, thou," I said, "art sure no craven, ghastly, grim, and ancient raving, wandering from the nightly shore. Tell me what thy lordly name is on the night's Plutonian shore." Quoth the raven, "Nevermore." Much I marveled this ungainly fowl to hear discourse so plainly, though its answer little meaning, little relevancy bore. For we cannot help agreeing that no living human being ever yet was blessed with seeing bird above his chamber door. Bird or beast above the sculpted bust above his chamber door, with such a name as Nevermore. But the raven, sitting lonely on the placid bust, spoke only that one word, as if his soul in that one word he did outpour. Nothing further than he uttered, not a feather than he fluttered, till I scarcely more than muttered, other friends have flown before. On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before. Then the bird said, Nevermore. Startled at his stillness, broken by reply so aptly spoken. Doubtless, said I, what it utters is only stock in store, caught from some unhappy master, whom unmerciful disaster followed fast and followed faster, till his songs one burden bore, till the dirges of his hope that melancholy burden bore, of never, nevermore. But the raven still beguiling all my sad soul into smiling, straight I wheeled a cushioned seat in front of bird and bust and door. Then, upon the velvet sinking, I betook myself to linking, fancy unto fancy, thinking what this ominous bird of yore, what this grin, ungainly, ghastly, gaunt, and ominous bird of yore, meant in croaking, Nevermore. This I sat engaged in guessing, but no syllable expressing, to the fowl whose fiery eyes now burned into my bosom's core. This and more I sat divining, with my head at ease reclining, on the cushion's velvet lining that the lamplight gloated o'er, but whose velvet violet lining with the lamplight gloating o'er, she shall press, ah, nevermore. Then methought the air grew denser, perfumed from an unseen censer, swung by seraphim whose footfalls tinkled on the tufted floor. Wretched, I cried, thy God hath lent thee, but these angels he has sent thee. Respite, respite, and nepenthe from thy memories of Lenore. Quaff, oh quaff this kind nepenthe, and forget this lost Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, whether tempter sent, or whether tempest tossed there here ashore, desolate yet all undaunted, on this desert land enchanted, on this home by horror haunted, tell me truly I implore, is there balm in Gilead? Tell me I implore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Prophet, said I, thing of evil, prophet still if bird or devil, by that heaven that bends above us, by that God we both adore, tell the soul with sorrow laden if, within the distant Aden, it shall clasp a sainted maiden whom the angels name Lenore, clasp a rare and radiant maiden whom the angels name Lenore, quoth the raven, nevermore. Be that word our sign of parting, bird or fiend I sheeked up starting. Get thee back into the tempest and the night's Plutonian shore. Leave no black plume as a token of that lie thy soul hath spoken. Leave my loneliness unbroken. Quit the bust above my door. Take thy beak from out my heart, and take thy form from off my door, quoth the raven, nevermore. And the raven, never flitting, still is sitting on the pallid bust of Pallas just above my chamber door, and his eyes have all the seeming of a demon's that is dreaming, and the lamplight o'er him streaming throws his shadow on the floor, And my soul from out that shadow that lies floating on the floor shall be lifted nevermore!
And this one's for Denver, my nigga. October 31st at the Roxy. Come see me, man. Look, last time I was in Denver, I took so many dab hits. When I went on stage, I was higher than giraffe tits. Went to Fort Collins, got catfished by a fat bitch. Still ended up getting my dick sucked and my ass licked. I'm at the Roxy. Come and see my 6 set. Professional rapper now. This is how I get checks. I could've got a job, but I didn't pass the piss test. So I threw a couple of piss in that bitch's face and just left. Real niggas know the filth master got clout with the airtight flow that'll make your mom vouch. Ask around, they'll tell you what I'm about. Rock out with my cock out, pull the slip knot out. So dope I make all the heroin addicts not out. This ain't hip hop, this is crack rock in a small pouch. So come to Young Wicked's Halloween party, kids. See how many young bitches dress up like Harley Quinn. For my performance, I'll be performing a fucking abortion. The mad doctor / swordsman, wrapping American flag around the head of the fetus, then throw it off the bridge and sing the Pledge of Allegiance, bitch. Tell me that I ain't got filth, bitch, you ain't got filth. Tell me my shit ain't top shelf, your shit ain't top shelf. Tell me his mom ain't a hot milk, that bitch is a hot milk. Yeah. Halloween night, man, come see me at the motherfucking Roxy. Yeah. Chimo Ski and Young Wicked. Let's go. Phil.
My name is Jamie Madrox. This is Monoxide. We're here to celebrate the idea of Halloween with 5 days of Halloween. Today, being the 5th, we want to talk to you about pumpkins. Yeah, that's right, motherfucker, pumpkins. Where did they come from? What do they do? Why do we have them?
They originated in Switzerland. People grew them to make clothing out of, and when they found out the skin wasn't usable, they switched it up.
It was in the 1400s is what he's talking about, but in the 1500s they decided to take those gourds and pumpkins and carve the motherfuckers out and make ghouly faces to ward off the dead on Halloween night. Did it work?
Yes, it absolutely did.
It absolutely worked.
Until they found out that people were cutting off heads and putting them inside of their pumpkin.
And then that's where the ghoulish, horrible shit came from for Halloween. So the stigma is not on the pumpkin. No, it is on the carver.
Sleepy Hollow up in this piece.
We will cut your fucking head off for Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Day number 5.
There once was a killer named Baby K.
It's been a long motherfucking time coming.
Everyone knew him. Everyone feared him. No one could see him. But he saw you.
313 shit.
One time,
East side.
one time he went to the attic
7 miles.
to get his Legos.
This is a deep boy style.
But he didn't come back down. No, sir.
Welcome back to the Faygoluvers Podcast. I am here with Kegan The Creep Ass. Kegan, how the hell are you, brother?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. I want to thank you so much for coming on our Halloween episode of the podcast.
Of course, man. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, not a problem. Before we start, can you just tell us a little bit about your background, just for the juggalos who don't know who you are? Who is Kegan The Creep Ass?
Sure. Yeah, I guess in the underground scene of things, if you will, I'm a comedian. I'm a stand-up comic. You know, been doing doing a lot of shows here and there over the past few years. Been a juggalo since elementary school, so definitely still down. But yeah, man, just a stand-up comic from Detroit. That's about it, I guess. Shit, I don't know.
Dope, man. You grew up in Detroit, huh?
Yeah, right outside of Detroit. I'm about 5 minutes outside of Detroit, so.
You mentioned that you're a stand-up comic, so where did that passion come from? How did you discover that's what you wanted to be, that's what you wanted to do?
It happened in about middle school for me. Growing up, I was kind of more shy, more kept to myself, almost a bookworm, but once I kind of got into to middle school and into high school, I kind of came out of my shell a little bit and just really enjoyed making people laugh, and that's where it all stemmed from. I did a lot of like theater and things like that in school. I know that's not the most gangster thing to say, but but yeah, that's I definitely did some theater, some acting classes, things like that, and I really wanted to get more into acting, more into improv. That's what I really focused on. I wasn't too huge into doing stand-up at the time, but a group of my friends were kind of doing stand-up classes and things like that. So I checked it out and kind of fell in love with it, along with the other, improv and acting. So yeah, man, that's where really where it all kind of came about.
You said you were into theater. Just a fun fact for anybody listening about Roscoe, I actually wrote the play that made it into the drama festival for my high school.
No shit. Hell yeah, man.
We lost, but it was like a reality TV show that I wrote. And like
no shit.
Hell yeah, man. It was dope.
That's what I'm talking about.
So anyways, you ended up stepping into stand-up comedy, and I assume that you didn't get into like the juggalo culture of it right away, so you must have been playing to some non-juggalo crowds to start.
Absolutely.
Is there like a big difference between playing to a juggalo and a non-juggalo crowd?
Oh, 100%. Obviously at juggalo events you have everyone's expecting a concert. There really isn't too many comedians or things like that to come out and obviously do their set. So it's something that I'm really trying to make happen, that I really have a passion. I of course, being a stand-up comic and being into this scene, and this is my fucking life. So I want to make that, kind of happen. But it's different when you do a stand-up show to like non-juggalos. If I go to a comedy club or an open mic night or something like that, everyone's seated. They're expecting to see comedy. It's usually more quiet. All eyes kind of on you. You do your thing, and that's it. But at a juggalo show, it's way different. Because, like I said, it's a concert. Everyone's standing around, they're getting drunk. You know how juggalo shows are. So everyone's having fun. So it's different. I don't just get up there and do the normal, set up the joke, punchline. That's where more of the improv comes into it, because you got to roll with the punches, And juggalos are pretty funny cats themselves. So a lot of times people will chip in to a joke where maybe some comics might think that's a form of heckling, and I would understand that, but me, I like to play off that. I want people engaged. So if you're listening to me, you're giving me feedback, or you're responding to a joke, I know I got your attention. You know what I'm saying? So in all honesty, that's why I do a lot more, I guess, like concert-based, juggalo-based shows. I just feel I fit in there more because I get to improv, and I'm not a routine guy. I don't like to go out there and just say the same joke verbatim, the same style, like 99% most comics do. It gets boring for me. So when people engage, or I get to improv and interact with the crowd more, I tend to enjoy that a lot more.
So you said it's not like the same set, obviously, at a juggalo show and a non-juggalo stand-up comedy show. Is there any jokes that you would only do at a juggalo show, or jokes that you would only do at a non-juggalo show?
Yeah, I'll give you a good example of that. This year at the Gathering, I opened up for Jim Norton. And everyone knows the big spiel of Jim Brewer backing out last minute. So I wrote a joke into my set just for the Gathering, to where I basically said, how I was usually when I tell chicks that I'm performing at the Gathering, they're like, "Oh man, you got big balls to be doing something like that." And then I said, "Well, I know my balls are bigger than Jim Brewer." Basically, it was the punchline. So. And it went over great. It went over. That was the only time I've ever used that joke. The only time I can use that joke. So yeah, and there's different things, like when I'm telling tour stories. or things like that. You know, an open mic night or a comedy club, they're not going to know what the hell I'm talking about. So.
Right. Yeah, you can't really make like a twisted joke or something at a comedy club, right?
Yep.
So, okay. I noticed that, like on the Warpath and shit like that, when everybody's sitting around smoking, they kind of mention that you're a non-smoker.
Right.
But you did tell me a story one time that before you went up on stage to perform, you actually did take a hit. So do you want to kind of rehash that? You want to tell me about that again?
Yeah, the most infamous moment was we were on tour, and it was in Denver. It was at the Roxy. It was my first time ever being in Denver, period. For those who've been to a show at the Roxy or go to shows in Denver, the Denver scene is fucking legit. You know, that place was packed. So I was super nervous. I had heard nothing but good things, you know, and you got people like Scum and everybody backstage, you know, giving you daps and shit. So it's one of those added pressure. You want to go out there and kill it, especially for your first time. And you know, so I got up on stage, and obviously, you know, weed and shit is legal in Colorado, so everyone's already smoking. Security guards. It was a dope vibe to it. You know, everyone was real laid back. And I had, at that time, it was Bakelo came out on stage, and he had actually, during my set, and handed me a joint, and, you know, told everybody, you know, I don't smoke, blah blah blah. So everyone's cheering, chanting to hit it, and of course I hit it, and I coughed like a bitch. And, you know, they had me hit it again because they said I didn't do it right or some shit. I don't know. So I took take like 3-4 hits. And then people were throwing their lit joints up. They're wanting me to smoke their shit, you know. So I'm like, nah, I can't. You know, I appreciate the offer, but I have to respectfully decline. But it was so, once it got settled down, I was so fucked up that I forgot like my set, you know, in the middle of it, and I just had to be real with them. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and fucking lie or slaughter a joke that I'm having a tough time remembering. So I told them straight up, like, you guys, like, I'm fucking feeling it. I apologize, you know. And everyone's cracking up and laughing, having a good time. Me as an artist, as a performer, I was so mad at myself, you know, because I want to go out there and I want to do my set, and I got shit to say. But everyone had a great time. I got off stage. Everyone was hugging me, trying to get me to smoke more. And so I made a vow that when I came back to Denver the next time round, I would, you know, be legit and party after. And I did that. So I was happy I got to redeem myself.
Oh, you have a new radio show on psychopathicradio.com called The Sex Files. So how did that all come about? You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, you know what? I had actually been talking to a couple of my friends at Psychopath at the gathering this year, and they were saying that they were tossing around ideas that they were going to add a new show and whatnot to the radio station, and they had threw my name in the mix. And, you know, I was completely humbled by that. So that was kind of it. We kind of got excited about it. And then when I had got back, a few weeks later after the gathering, Rob Bruce, Jump said he actually gave me a call and, you know, kind of, you know, ran through this idea that they were having, that they kind of wanted to do a radio show kind of involving, you know, different sexes and giving sex and funny things like this. And him, we talked on the phone for quite a while and got all these different ideas and, oh, we can do this and this would be dope if we did this. And, you know, they had the rough concept of it, but we really built it up together, which was nice. You know, they put a lot of trust in me, and which was really nice to be able to put my creative input in on it. And I come up with a few names for the show. And I had told Rob, I'm like, well, I want to think about, you know, everything we put together and try to come up with some titles. And the name I originally was going to go with was going to be called The Down and Dirty as the first thing that I had come to mind. And we kind of talked about it, and I was, you know, Rob said, yeah, it's, you know, maybe something else that's nice, but let's keep thinking. I had come up with The Sex Files was this idea I had, and he loved it right away. You know, it kind of rang. It was short, sweet, to the point, and something we could play off of. So, yeah, I'm super excited. Like I said, obviously I know everyone was anticipating the first show. It was promoted very nicely. Technical difficulties happened. You know, I got a call saying that it couldn't go through that day. We had to reschedule it, so I was super bummed because I had, you know, merch made. We had all these videos made. to make it real funny that everything got to kind of put it on hold for a little bit, but it's okay. Like I said, it's going to happen one way or another. So we're just working on it right now.
Yeah, man, really looking forward to watching that first episode.
Oh yeah.
So that's on Psychopathic Radio. You had some shit coming out on Native World Inc. You recently made the decision to leave Native World Inc. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, it was it was a lot of things that kind of accumulated to the point where I realized that it's a lot tougher than I thought being a comic. You're trying to get into the scene. It's hard when you're a comic on, a label full of artists, musicians, things like that. So there was a few stressful points coming up with creativity things that I was running into. There was some personal business side of it, that I can't really jump into here at the time. But it's something, like I said, that I have nothing but love and respect. I tell people this nonstop. Everybody there is my friend, or at least I hope so. But yeah, I got nothing but love for everybody over there. ABK was really the first person to take me out on tour and really give this whole idea I have of comedy a shot. And, I consider him one of the all-time greats and, nothing but a good friend. So it was just a lot of different business things went into it. And, it was me doing different projects like comic books and things like that. And I just felt there was a lot of stuff going on in Native World right now. There's a lot of new artists coming out. For me to kind of compete and battle back and forth was a big part of it. To where I just felt, maybe I need to step back and do my thing and really establish what I meant to get into this underground scene for, and that's to really bring comedy into it the best way that I can.
Actually, just speaking on ABK a little bit, I probably should have asked this question first, but how did you originally get hooked up with ABK and Native World Inc.?
You know what? I was actually, me and my partner, Spider, I don't know if you guys, for the OG Juggalos, he was on the documentary, old head of security for Psychopathic. I had met him a while ago, and we had created this company, Laughs and Raps, to where I really wanted to get comedy in, and he knew a lot of ins and how, the workings of the music scene that I didn't. So we kind of blended those two. That was like a Detroit-based thing. With doing that, I was able to meet, George over at Magic Ninja. Awesome guy, helped me out tremendously. Got to meet Flagrant, and then through Flagrant we met the ROC, and I was looking to get some merch made for my first time, and Flagrant told me, the Native World makes merch, so he actually brought me up there and, introduced me to ABK and things like that, and ABK kind of caught wind of what we were doing, and me and him, hit it off really well. I mean, the rest from there is history.
So after that, you kind of got the opportunity to get shit released, like DVDs and whatnot, released on Native World Inc. Mm-hmm. If Psychopathic gave you that same opportunity, would you jump at it, or?
You know what, and that's it's a tough thing. I mean, there's so many things to go over. Obviously, man, I got nothing but love for everybody at Psychopathic. I mean, they always hooking me up. I tell Rob that all the time. Whether it's getting me to perform at the Gathering or these radio shows, and just coming up to the office to hang out with the guys. It's really awesome. But yeah, I mean, fuck, there'd be, I'm not gonna lie, it'd be really dope to put something out through them. Like I said, I don't just cater myself to one thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm open to work with anybody and everybody, and that's my main focus. You know what I'm saying? I want to build something good, something positive, and whoever wants to get on board and help with that, let's fucking do it.
Dope, brother. That's the way to be too.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, this is our Halloween episode, so I'm going to ask just a couple Halloween-related questions, if that's cool.
Sure, absolutely.
All right, so... Me personally, man, I love those Reasons, like those chocolate fucking...
hard-ass caramels.
Yeah, yes. Man. What was your favorite Halloween candy as a kid, and what is your Halloween candy currently?
You know what? As a kid, it was fucking anything and everything. I was a broke little bastard, so getting pillowcases full of free candy was the shit. Plus, I was fat as all hell, so I took what I could get. If I was hungry enough, I ate any of the old people gifts for Halloween. But that's neither here nor there. But honestly, I know I'm gonna catch heat from this because it seems like not a lot of people are with me on this. But I fucking love candy corn. I really do. That's A lot of people hate it, but especially as a kid, that was really my thing. Now that I'm older, I'm across the board 100% chocolate. I mean, if it's got chocolate in it, I'm fucking eating it. So that's pretty much how it goes.
I hear you on that, brother. Not the candy corn, but I hear you on the chocolate. That's
right. I get that a lot. The pumpkins suck, though. I will say that. The pumpkins are too much. Those little candy corn pumpkins, they're fucking terrible. And I don't like the purple ones either. I don't know if those are supposed to be chocolate or what, but old school candy corn, fucking still dig it.
Oh, man, I don't even know if I've eaten those pumpkins, but...
No, they're terrible. They're too much.
Like I say, I'm with you on the chocolate, brother. So
There we go.
What about, like, Halloween costume? Like, what was that one bomb-ass Halloween costume that you dressed up as a kid?
I remember I thought I was the shit in, like, elementary school when I got that, and the reason I'm remembering this is I just saw it in a fucking grocery store of all places. They're still making them. Was those scream masks that had the little, like, blood pump, you know what I'm saying? Where the blood, you squeeze the little heart and the blood would come down the mask.
I got one of those, man. I'm not even kidding.
I'm sorry, man. I thought I was a shit wearing that. I always like scary shit. You know, like a lot of kids want to be the, you know, whatever, favorite wrestler or comic book hero. But I always, as a little kid, man, my mom and dad were crazy into horror flicks. And so I got to go with the Scream blood mask was dope. And I remember, I think my, like, 4th or 5th grade, I went as full-blown Leatherface, which was dope. That's my favorite horror movie icon. He's the greatest.
What about this Halloween? You got any plans?
You know what? In all honesty, I was, speaking of Denver, I was thinking about going out there and checking out my brother Young Wicked's show at the Roxy. That was up in the air. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that. So, I mean, I think you know, how can you turn down Hallowicked? You know, It's right down the street. And that's just tradition. I just want to go to Colorado mainly because it's been a minute since I've been there and it's so fucking beautiful out there. But no, definitely with Hallowicked being right down the street and so many friends of mine are coming into town for that shit. I think I'd be an idiot not to go. So
dope, man. But yeah, seeing that Young Wicked and G-Mo Ski perform would be dope too. But yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty cool. That's pretty crazy, you know. So and like I said, the Denver scene out there is so chill, laid back. They're so supportive. Even that theater. I mean, the theater is ran by fucking juggalos themselves. So it's a cool vibe out there. But being from Detroit, I mean, we're spoiled with Hallowicked, and this is another thing. I really know nothing about Walk the Flock. I don't listen to his music. I couldn't tell you his hit song, but I got to be on stage when he performed at the Gathering, not this year, but the year before, and I was fucking blown away. I mean, his stage show and the people that were, you know, hating, throwing shit, and he jumped down in the crowd and was rocking with people. I mean, I've never seen a performer at the Gathering get so much like hate and heat at first, and then by the end of the set, completely change it around. I mean, that to me, his live performance is insane. So the fact that they added him to Hallowicked, I'm so pumped to see that again.
And you know what? That shit doesn't happen very often at the Gathering, but
no,
yeah, when it does happen, it's the shit to see. That's for sure.
For real. I mean, yeah, he wasn't one of those stuck-up stars. He was out there on the golf cart with everybody and taking pictures and partying and getting fucked up with juggalos. So, I mean, he's, I don't know. Just by judging from that, I knew nothing about him before, but I got to say he's a cool-ass dude.
All right, Kegan, so one question that I ask on every single episode of every guest of the podcast is the scenario of you're stuck on a stranded island, you have a Discman, but you only have 3 CDs. What 3 CDs do you have?
Oh, shit. Why you got to do me like this?
Yeah, I normally prepare the guest for this question for a story, but...
No, yeah, this is up in the air. I was actually just talking to some people about some like my all-time favorite CDs. I definitely got to go, and this is, like I said, they're my boys, but I'll throw all that out the window. I've always been a diehard A&B fan since they won the contest, and I think Garcia Brothers is just fire from start to finish. So I'm going to have to do that one as one. These are in no particular order.
All right.
I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just saying that because I was just bumping it in my car on the way before I did this interview. So I got to go with that CD. fucking. I'm gonna another all-time great to me. I love Tech Nine, love strange music. I gotta go with Sickology 101.
Oh, dope.
Or I gotta go with Sickology. That was a dope CD. Oh fuck, you're killing me here. This is a toughie.
It's either a really easy or a really hard question, depending on who.
Oh yeah, no. There's so many to choose from. So, but you know what? I got to take it back to the roots, and this album always means, I think, the most to me because it's what got me into everything, and it's my favorite Joker's card. I got to go with the Amazing Jekyll Brothers. That's still an album I bump all the time. So that's it. Jekyll Brothers, Sickology, and Garcia Brothers.
Wow, dope, man. You're the second person to pick Jekyll Brothers as your album, too, by the way. Oh, yeah, Punk Rock Juggalo.
No shit. Hell yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. Okay, good.
Hell
That's
yeah,
good company
brother.
to have.
All right, man. So I think we're getting pretty close to the end of the interview here. But before we go, is there any final words? Anything that you want to let the Juggalos know before we take off here?
You know what? Just to stay tuned. Check me out at you can find me on Facebook, Kegan All. You can have my personal page, or you can have on my fan page is Facebook / Creep Ass Comedy. Check me out on Instagram, Snapchat, all that good stuff. We got a tour coming up. Me and Bones Dub are booking for the Wicked Wild West tour. We're hoping to get that for the end of winter. Like I said, just stay tuned. Appreciate all the love and support, and for taking time out of your day to listen to this motherfucking interview.
Dope, brother. And we'll have all his social media shit in the links below, too.
Dope. Huge shout out to you, Lord. You have always had my back since I was a nobody. I'm still a nobody, but you still got my back and have always supported. So much love to you guys.
Hells yeah, brother. Well, we appreciate you coming on, and thanks a lot,
yeah.
Kegan. You have a great Halloween.
You have a better one, brother.
Meet ICP, the Insane Clown Posse, a dynamic duo driving their fans into a frenzy. They use graphic violence in their act to get their message across, but these rappers from Southwest Detroit say they are sending out a positive message, calling on listeners to wipe out racism, bigotry, drugs, and careless sex.
We represent people that have been, that were born without the silver spoon in the mouth, but instead with a rusty fork.
ICP members, Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope, never made it through high school, but they've been making it big on the charts. What's behind their clown faces? Well, a lot of anger and a message for what they call the oppressor.
All these people, they view the underclass, they view the poor people as like carnival freaks, you know what I mean? And that's why we wear the clown makeup. We're representing them. We're representing the people that people would shove their kids away from and people would turn away and not look at. That's who we are.
But they're not clowning around. ICP started off like most struggling artists, using a basement to make their first recording. Now they have a cult-like following and sell out every concert they play in Metro Detroit, as fans with painted faces pack in to see them perform. One of the group's favorite gimmicks, fountains of Faygo pop, spraying endlessly into the adoring audience.
It caters to the lesser, you know. Faygo is the poor man's pop. I represent Faygo, you know. Faygo is like easy to come by. I could stick a 2-liter Faygo, my hand through the curtain and show a 2-liter Faygo, and the whole place would go crazy, man.
Now you may think this rapping duo is crazy, but with 3 albums under their belts, they're headed on a nationwide tour later this month. If the Insane Clown Posse's popularity stretches beyond local boundaries, these two guys will be laughing all the way to the bank.
They love that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. This Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. I had to mention that like 20 or 30 times on the show, just in case the creepy background music and the Halloween underground music and the Halloween skits and shit like that didn't tip you off. This is a Halloween episode of the Faygoluvers Podcast. I want to thank our guest, Kegan, for coming on. Kegan The Creep Ass, thank you so much, homie. It was a great interview, and we'd love to have you back on sometime. To all you juggalos out there, go out and get some candy. Go out and get some candy and come home and watch a couple horror movies. I recommend the Evil Dead remake, because that's what Halloween is all about. And if that's not what Halloween is all about, then I need somebody to tell me what Halloween is all about, because it's about that shit right there. Until next time, everybody, you can always hit me up, RoscoeFaygoluvers.net, questions, concerns, comments, advertising, any shit like that. I want to remind you to keep an open mind. Have a happy Halloween. Peace.
So you really must think you're something scary with all that talking in my skull shit, walking through my wall shit.
I slither through the darkness, poking out the heartless, stepping my foot right on the face of death's carcass. I'm shaking up terrors, punch 'em through the mirrors, snatch a fucking spirit trying to dash up the stairs. Witch and head romancer, headless boogie dancer, haunting evil spirits out knowing every answer. Not afraid of evil, slapping like mosquitoes, blow it right up off the dark like a torpedo. Not afraid of any mummies or zombie fucking dummies or any fucking Frankensteins trying to run up on me. Vampire in my window, I recognize him though he turned into a bat. I swat his ass and stomp him on the floor. I'm fucking from the other side. You fuckers run and hide. I don't care, you all got polio and you the one that died. Bitch, don't come haunting me, taunting from my tree, cause I'm a clown that ass and show you all you can be.
In the night, bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
digging up your coffin.
Bullets of prey, rip blood, claw bite. Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey,
witch hunt, bloody Mary.
Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey. So you really must think you're something scary with all that talking in my skull shit, walking through my wall shit.
I caught a ghost in a jar, it's still in my car. You should have seen my homies' faces when I showed them at the bar. I'm crawling through my walls, the same place it does, with the lights pitch black. Come on, bring it, bitch, wood. I stare it in its soul, melted in a bowl, feed it to my 7 cats and neighbors' pit bulls. If it chokes me when I sleep, thinking it's unique, it's gonna see some real terror from this horrifying freak. One was in my blender, I lost a couple fingers. In the end it wasn't really there, that's all I can remember. Yes, I live alone, begging bring it on. If you fucking think you scaring me, then we don't get along.
In the night, bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
digging up your coffin.
Bullets of prey, rip blood, claw bite. Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey,
witch hunt, bloody Mary.
Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
I'm not afraid of your bloody body. I don't care that you headless bloody. Fuck a ghost, devil, death, everybody. Crawling out your grave, get stiff muddy.
Bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
digging up your coffin.
Bullets of prey, rip blood, claw bite. Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey,
witch hunt, bloody Mary.
Bullets of prey, Hallowicked, Halloween. Bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
I'm not afraid of your bloody body. I don't care that you headless bloody. Fuck a ghost, devil, death, everybody. Crawling out your grave, get stiff muddy.
Bullets of prey, howl in the moonlight. Bullets of prey,
digging up your coffin.
Bullets of prey, rip blood, claw bite. Bullets of prey.
Just to be safe, if you could, just send me send me a message of the picture that I sent you.
Okay, sounds good.
If you still got it, you know what I'm saying? Because I can't even fucking remember what I sent, to be honest.
It's the one where you're like sitting on the bleachers, kind of like looking off into the distance.
Oh yeah, that's dope. Yeah, that's fine.